I don't know, I'm a little nervous. So, I am calling you all here today, and I'm having this stream because I need to comment very seriously on some things that have been happening in this community recently. I want to do so in a more aggressive and more stern way than I have before, because I don't think that I have been anywhere near as stern nor as apologetic as I should have been before. The first thing that I want to say is to everyone who was encouraging me to address these issues and that I became angry with, I am very, very, very sorry. When I looked at those issues and when I looked at everything like that, I think I wanted to convince myself that everything was okay. This career, to me, has felt so incredible that I was very reluctant to assume that anything could possibly be going wrong. And this was wrong of me. It was selfish, and I was treating this career more as a fantasy I was living rather than something I needed to take responsibility for. That is my fault, and I will be taking accountability for it in future. The most important thing, however, that I want to move on to after that is the issue that happened yesterday. So, for those of you who aren't aware, what happened was I had an ASMR stream, which ordinarily would have been a completely normal, just healthy, happy little thing that sensible people could enjoy. But when this happened, a very small, tiny, tiny, tiny issue happened where Reimu, one of my best friends, joined in chat and asked for help. When I commented on this on my Minecraft stream, I worded it in such a way that made it sound like this was her fault. I was wrong for doing this. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean for that to be what I wanted to say, but it came off that way. And you are not wrong for thinking that I was being a terrible friend. Well, I didn't think I was being a terrible friend, but it certainly sounded that way. And you're not wrong for thinking that I am that way. I am very, very sorry for having worried anybody. Thankfully, since then, Reimu and I have talked pretty extensively in private. She is okay, I am okay, and we're both still really, really good friends, and we know that what happened was just, between us at least, what happened was a misunderstanding. She and I are okay, and we've apologized to each other. I've had a chance to apologize to her. She knows exactly what I did wrong, and I feel as though, at least between us, that things have cleared up. And that's pretty good. I feel pretty happy about that. What I would like to do is I'd like to segue this into something that's very, very important and that I think people have been wanting me to address for a very, very, very long time. So I think that the reason or the issue with essentially the way that I addressed what Reimu did was that I tried to say that I understood why some people were upset with her. And the way that this came off was essentially just that I was blaming her. And this wasn't okay. The way that this came off was essentially that I was enabling some fans who had given her a terrible, terrible time. I didn't intend for it to be this way, but that's how it came off, and that is my responsibility, and I'm sorry. The way that this happened was essentially because I, as a person, am really, really, really scared of causing problems. I am pretty terrified of confrontation. I am terrified of conflict, and I am terrified of sort of these things transpiring, right? In this way, I didn't want to come down too hard on any one individual group. I wound up sort of trying to fence sit and please everybody, but in doing so, I pleased nobody. I said something that was pretty nasty, or I thought was fine, but came off nastily, and that's my fault. The reason why I think that I said this wrong was the fact that, I'm going to be honest, well, like I said, I'm scared of standing up to people. But today has to be a day where I stand up to people, because no matter what happened in the last couple of days, no matter what those events were in specific or in particular, I've sort of thought, or at least I've now come to realize, that those issues were going to happen and some big situation was going to transpire no matter what happened. No matter what happened, something like this was going to happen. And that is because I have not put my foot down regarding a very important issue that I'm going to do so right now. And the reason I haven't done so before is because I'm scared to, like I said, but that needs to change now. With as big of an audience as I have and how much you guys have grown, I need to be able to set firmer boundaries. And I've been scared to, but I'm not scared anymore. You and I are not in a relationship. I care deeply about my fans, but I do not know you. Okay? This thing that has emerged, which I did not anticipate, this thing we've come to call a parasocial relationship, was not something that I saw as getting anywhere near as bad as it did. I was operating under this really silly delusion that I could turn that into something positive for people, that I could convince people through a connection to me to benefit and grow their own lives. I was delusional. I was wrong, and I made this decision, I think, influenced by, to be honest, a degree of selfishness. I was just very enamored by my own success. I was scared of changing anything, and so I didn't. I continued to encourage poor behavior, whether I meant to or not, and this caused the terrible issue that happened the other day. It made one of my friends deeply upset, and it worried pretty much everyone else in this community. It is my fault. And I'm really sorry that I didn't address this in a firmer way earlier. Allow me to do so in a more direct way. You, listening, are not someone that I know personally. When I make content, you are more than welcome to enjoy it in whatever way that you would please. That makes me happy. It really, really does. But you do not know me. I am an entertainer. I am here to make you smile. I'm here to make you laugh. And that's about it. You and I are not in a relationship, nor most likely will we ever be. I know this may be really upsetting to hear, but when it comes to the kinds of things that you have been doing, I can't hold this back any longer. I'm sorry. The fact that I have cultivated a group of fans, and while I would say that there is a degree that while some people are saying it's not my fault, there is a degree of responsibility that I hold, because these are my fans. They're fans who take their, let me think of how to word this, who take their behavior from the way that I encourage them. And what I've seen is my friends be harassed. I have seen collabs that I am not even involved in have fans of mine go in and try to project delusional fantasies onto those streams in the vague hope that they will be addressed. It's gotten to the point where if I take even more than one day off, drama emerges, arguments happen, and anyone who streams that's even vaguely connected to me will be bombarded by chat messages of people who cannot bear to live more than a single day without me. That is not fucking okay. And I am... It's difficult to say this in a way that doesn't sound fake as hell, because this just isn't how I normally talk, and I'm really sorry if this isn't coming off in the way that you want it to come off. I'm just... it's to the point where before, maybe while we were still a smaller channel, maybe that kind of thing would have been okay and I could have turned it into something positive, but I can't anymore. You need to view me as an entertainer, and if you, as a fan, have in my name, as a result of feeling an attachment to me, have gone into someone else's chat, have gone into someone else's DMs, have engaged with a liver, or with any streamer, with any content creator, with one of my friends worst of all, or with another kindred, or with someone else's fans, and you have flamed, hurt, attacked, or insulted them in any way as a means of trying to benefit the connection between us, I do not want your support. I do not want you on my stream. I do not want to see your face. I do not want to see your name. I do not want to receive a super chat from you. I don't want to receive anything from you. I think that you're a vile fuckhead, like I said earlier, and I do not want anything to do with you. Do you understand? The main thing that I have been afraid to address for a long time, and it feels pretty good to get out in the open because I have been pretty scared as well. I'm a very open and pretty easily bullyable person. And this has showed itself recently because what I've wound up doing is giving in to people that I thought were my fans. But in actuality, they were some really shitty people. I'm very afraid of addressing issues because when I see individual messages of people saying that they're upset, that affects me pretty deeply. And so when I address these issues and I try to be stern, I feel like I often come off as very soft, much softer than I should be. And that's not okay. I need to do better, and I will be doing better. From this point on, my content will not change because I know that even though, for example, something like the ASMR streams, maybe some people would take that as an excuse to encourage their own shitty behavior, I know that 99% of you are responsible, sane, non-delusional people who really enjoy that kind of stuff as a nice way to relax. That's who that is for. And I would like to leave a very strong fucking reminder for the people who think that they are actually on a date with me when we do ASMR. The word in the title is RP. Role play. I am playing a part. I am acting. I am acting, I am improvising, I am reading chat, and I am having a bit of fun. We are not on a date, and that does not give you an excuse to treat that as an exclusive one-on-one between you and me. I hate to break it to you. I really hate to be the kind of person to break it to you. But in the last stream, I'm not sure why you took so much issue with Reimu showing up, because there were 16,000 other people there. What part of you thinks that we have a one-on-one connection? I don't mean to break anyone's heart, and I'm already feeling a little upset because I don't want to have to do this to anyone, but I'm sorry, you've kind of forced my hand. So where before I said that I only had one boundary, I'm changing it. Beforehand I said that I wanted people to stop telling me what to do. And I think I made that in poor judgment because truthfully, it's the people on Twitter and in my comments who originally I was annoyed with who have been calling me out in a really appropriate way. You guys have seen the way that I haven't been addressing these issues and you've called me out on it, and I think it's finally now that I'm seeing how thoroughly I need to actually take action. And I'd like to first of all say sorry for writing you off and sorry for telling you off for doing so, but I'd also like to say thank you for giving me a second chance. It's you guys who take an interest in the health of my fan base and try to tell me what is working and what isn't working that help these streams survive. And I would not have a job, and I would not get to live this wonderful life if it weren't for all of you. Okay? I'm very, very sorry. Seriously, I am. And I think that the reason I was so angry to begin with was because I had addressed drama so many times in the past that I failed to see how severe of an issue this was becoming. I thought that when I addressed it in the past, that would be the end of it. And it wasn't. I addressed it again. I thought that would be the end of it. And it wasn't. And it was you who held me accountable and kept asking me to be firm and to be serious that finally I feel as though I am actually making some serious progress. This is a very important thing to me, and I never want to ruin the relationship between myself and, well, it's kind of an ironic thing to say, but I mean relationship in more of a literal sense. Because fan to entertainer is a connection in a sense, but that connection needs to be mediated with sensible conduct and with understanding that you and I have the relationship of an entertainer and a viewer. I am a internet funny man, and you are a person who watches anime characters online. We are not together. Now that said, that doesn't mean that I'm not deeply appreciative for all of the love that I received, and to be honest, I will not stop saying that I love you on stream because I feel as though I do. When someone says something nice about me, that to me feels like I have a warm feeling inside and I want to say I love you back. There's nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. I think that's fine. It's when you take those issues and you turn them into something shitty. When you, God forbid, and I wish I had said this earlier, and I wish I had addressed this in a more sooner and in a more severe manner, but I really wanted to say earlier that I cannot fucking believe that I think that was the reason why I was reluctant to address it. I couldn't believe that as many people were sending death threats to Reimu as there were. I struggled to believe it. I truly, truly did. Which is why I think I was under this silly illusion that it was a small minority who were saying these things. I couldn't believe it. And I wanted to believe it was a smaller issue because I was scared of realizing that there was something larger at play. But that has to end today. I'm now realizing how much worse this has become, and this is where it has to end. Okay? One other quick thing that I would like to say about the Minecraft stream. When I said the word trolls, to me that is just a word that means anyone who's being shitty online. I didn't realize that this sounded like it was me downplaying the issue. And I'm sorry for that. That was my fault. But also, I think that to an extent, I kind of was downplaying it, not out of a want to appease anyone, but because I was being a fucking pussy, to be honest. I didn't want to admit that something was terribly wrong, and so I tried to act like it wasn't. That was wrong of me. One of my friends was going through a serious issue, and I tried to act like nothing was wrong. That was wrong of me, and I am so sorry. I am so, so sorry that I have made this, to be honest, 99% beautiful fan base full of really kind, dedicated, and happy people who want to help people grow and to just have a laugh together, that I've made it into a community that has such a terrible reputation. Change in this community begins with me. And with me, that change begins with this stream.